This is the two of clubs. I have a sense from your reaction that you're somehow unrequited. Perhaps it was the power of my statement. Maybe you want me to take this a step further. So I will. I'm going to ask the woman now to change and select the card either closest to me or furthest away. Would you designate one of those two? Closest to me. And would you stare at that card? Because if you do, then this card would have to become the two of clubs, the plot thickens. Now, there is one other option that we could talk about, and perhaps we will. I'm going to ask you to stare at the card which is in my hand. If you don't mind doing that for me, would you? Thank you, because that is now the two of clubs. But for just a second, avert your gaze. Literally look away from the card. Just look away for a second, because if you do, it could no longer be the two of clubs. You see, and if you look away again, please do, this card could not be the two of clubs. And if once again you look away, this could not be the two of clubs. So you've witnessed an experiment from the 19th century, an experiment called Everywhere and Nowhere. Many of you know that I throw playing cards further than anyone in the world. Thank you very much. I'd like to demonstrate my unusual skill for you this evening, but unfortunately this theater is much too small. Consequently, all I can really do is speak about the advantages of cards over more conventional weaponry. First, they're inexpensive. Secondly, if you're good with them, you can make a small fortune before the actual attack. Third, there have been no convictions for carrying cards as a concealed weapon. If you are, for instance, attacked by a door, you could kill the door, but I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man throws cards with incredible speed and uncanny accuracy. But can he throw a card and have that card returned to his hand, a simulacrum of the Australian boomerang? But I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man can throw cards and have them returned to his hand, a simulacrum of the Australian boomerang. But can he, upon that card's return, cut it neatly in half with a pair of giant scissors? Yes, he can. Does anyone here have a pair of giant scissors? I do. And I might add, I feel so much better now. So here's how this works. I throw it out, the card comes back, I cut it, and I should point out, if you're attacked by a pair of giant scissors, you may throw the card at the scissors, disabling the scissors completely. But for those of you who prefer skill to verbiage, apparently all of you, I will throw the card in the air and upon its return, cut it neatly in half with a pair of giant scissors. Cut it neatly in half. Okay. Quod erat demonstrandum. I will, however, go sans scabbard for the remainder of the show. Or as the Elizabethans say, go bear. But I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man can cut cards neatly in half with a pair of giant scissors, but can he defend himself against plastic? This seemingly mild-mannered plastic duck, once on an otherwise festive night in Rio, took a small portion of my anatomy home with him. I keep him around as a reminder of how difficult life on the road can be. If you're attacked by a plastic duck, I suggest 3 methods of self-defense. First, the stare. This angers the duck. Next, the bold gesture. This infuriates the beast. Finally, I suggest firing a card at the duck. Yats! This kills the duck and serves as a healthy reminder to would-be hecklers. If you're attacked by an animal band or a band of animals, fire. Yats! They're saying, sure, this man can defend himself against plastic. Can he defend himself against fruit? Ladies and gentlemen, I will not waste your time with kumquats, pears, or prunes. No, 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 no. You guessed it, the most prodigious of household fruits, His Majesty, the watermelon. Out of season and dreadfully expensive. This evening, I will attempt to penetrate the rich red interior of said melon with a few perfectly placed tosses from the ordinary pack. Many of you will notice that my last two shots have landed in exactly the same slit in the watermelon. A feat so impressive, I am forced to mention it myself. No doubt the last time you saw this done was when Errol Flynn did it in Robin Hood. Understand that I could continue throwing cards in the same slit in the melon all night long, but I'm forced to stop because it's too much fun for the melon. But I know what you're saying. You're saying, sure, this man can throw cards into the rich red interior of said melon. Can he penetrate the even thicker pachydermatous outer melon layer? Yes. No. Who the hell could do that? But, encouraged by your approbation, I could attempt to penetrate the even thicker pachydermatous outer melon layer. Watch me work. This scares the melon. This wounds the melon. This pisses me off. Oh, melon. You know, until Johann Nepomuk Hofzinser called playing cards the poetry of magic, a conjurer's skill was determined entirely on his ability to perform one effect. That was called the cups and balls. There are many people who tell you it's the oldest effect in the history of magic. And on the tombs of the king Beni Hassan of ancient Egypt, there are representations of Nile magicians doing the cups and balls. I'm not one of those people. I will tell you the game was known to the Greeks and Romans, that Seneca wrote about it, that the earliest iconography in our venerable art, the famous planetary drawings of Ulm in the 15th century, do show cups and balls conjurers. The game has been played continuously for hundreds, if not thousands of years. With your kind permission, I'd like to end my performance this evening by showing you my version of this classic, which I call the history lesson.